Greetings everybody, it's me, Iggy, and one fateful night I decided it would be a great idea to just, you know, do this thing. 1v2 against a team that actually won a game before. That team was New Jazz, and the game is basically what you can see here. I thought, hey, maybe it's a good idea to kind of reflect on the game, give my thoughts on it too. Because when I played the game, I wasn't really on top of my game, but I'm not really looking for excuses here. I'm trying to make the point that even if I had played at my best, with the approach I was taking, I couldn't have possibly won. Because, you know, I've just been kind of way too offensive. Not patient enough, because I think, in retrospect, this is something that is well required if you're going 1 against 2 against pretty much any team, unless the team is way worse than you, which I can't really count on. Look at that, I got scored on. Big surprise there. But yeah, I'm way too aggressive here. I should have hung back a lot more. I should have only made shots and passes to myself if I had, you know, been absolutely sure that my opponents can't capitalize on it, or would at least have a very hard time doing so. For instance, that right there was pretty dumb. Like, risky play. Could have worked, but, you know, didn't, obviously. Generally, going to the air and all that stuff is something that, in a situation like this, you should only really do very rarely. Because they always have this strength of, you know, being 2 people as opposed to 1. Like right there. I would have had that probably if one of the guys hadn't rammed me. Which is unfortunate, a little bit frustrating, but hey, whatever. And I totally deserve that goal right there. Don't even try to take that from me. Oh, it's 100% skill. Nothing more. Yeah. But yeah, I was way too aggressive here, mainly because I thought in order to win as 1 person against 2, I'd have to do everything that I do normally, only twice as fast, in order to, you know, outplay them that way. Now, unfortunately, the things that I usually do are kind of impossible to do at twice the speed. Well, because games just won't allow it, obviously. And here they're actually playing for me. I like that actually, but you know, they have ball control, and if you are going 1 against 2, ball control is pretty much the most important thing you can have, and it's also the very most difficult thing to maintain. Again, mainly because there's 2 guys and you're just 1. And it's very difficult, let me tell you. I mean, I've played 1v2 before, but not really with any intention to try to win. I just kind of did it, mainly against new players. I did a 1v3 once. Hey, I won even, but it was like nothing to brag about because it's just new players. And yeah, I could have had that as well, I swear. If only that one guy hadn't been there to steer me away. Oh boy. But you know, eventually I found out a small trick with the kickoffs that apparently either my opponents didn't catch on to me using, or they didn't care because they had won anyway. I mean, just look at that score difference. In any normal game, this wouldn't be too bad. It's very possible to make a comeback from that. I mean, 1-4, yeah, no big deal. In fact, today, together with my friends, I made a comeback just like that. In the last minute of the game, no less. So maybe this will be when I actually figure out the trick. No, it's not. Well, we'll see it later. But essentially, if one of the opponents is diagonal and you're straight, you just go straight and try to anticipate where the ball goes, which is pretty easy because most of the time it'll go more or less straight from where they were going. So, in that case, the ball will be in the opponent's half of the field, which might not necessarily be a good thing, because, as I said previously, ball control, pretty damn important. This, for instance, me controlling the ball. Though it was a really easy goal, to be honest, because both of my opponents were facing the other way. And there was just no way they could follow me. I could have easily fucked it up. I fucked up easy shots, or rather dribbles, like that before in my life. And I'll probably do it again. But I think that a 1v2 can actually, if you actually do it, teach you a lot about patience in a game. Like, I'm not necessarily impatient when playing Rocket League, but especially in a 1v2, I could stand to be a little more patient. Come on, guys. I knew what I was getting into. But yeah, to get back to the whole patience thing, when playing against two people, they will always have the upper hand and just with everything. And to outplay them is really hard. And you'll have to carefully, just very carefully, pick your time to do stuff. Of course, it doesn't mean that you should be passive all the time. That's just gonna get you scored on. And over the course of this game, or rather this series I should say, I actually shouldn't have gone for that, but I actually, hey, should have gone for that. Anyway, as I was saying, over the course of this game, I got a little more defensive, a little more passive rather, reactive, probably the best word for it, where I just tried to anticipate what they were doing and then, you know, do what I thought was best. And that could have easily been a goal, just look at this shit. Fuck that up completely. I normally hit those shots too. I like to hit them from weird angles. But yeah, you know, win some, lose some, then lose some more, like 2-8. That seems like a fine score. And that goal, I just had to, you know, just take. Completely my fault too. I mean, I think you could tell that it was completely my fault. This is kind of a problem that I have a lot when playing Rocket League, but normally I have a teammate who covers for me. Or just play the ball sometimes, even though it's not really beneficial to do so. And immediately when I do it, even before I do it, I realize that, but it's too late to actually, you know, change that. I'm pretty sure that people who've played with me before can attest to that. And yeah, you should save the balls a little better than that if you don't want to get scored on in a 2v1. Because, yeah, I can always follow up with a rebound from the first shot. So, this should be obvious, and it probably is to pretty much everybody watching. But you should always try to knock the ball to the corner when saving it, or actually score with a long shot, but that's a little more difficult. Even though I suppose against two people it's not that hard, unless they are very defensive. Which against me as one person they really shouldn't be. I mean, they, by this point at least, they know that I'm not quite skilled enough to actually take them on both at the same time. So they're gonna do some horrible thing where they 1v1 me instead. I didn't ask for this. I wanted to be destroyed. This was supposed to be a glorious last stand and they ruined it. Bunch of dicks. Just kidding, I love you. Okay, here you can see that I was about to go to the ball. I would usually go for the ball. Maybe would have been better in this situation even. But I instead decided to hang back a little bit, you know, just survey the situation. What's he gonna do? And how can I counter it before it happens? And this is, you know, pretty good approach to things, actually. In this case, just didn't work out. And here again, I was a little too far up, but I think I had to be. And, just about a few seconds ago, you could see why I wouldn't recommend going for that kickoff strat I described earlier. Because, you know, they will have the ball, it'll be in their half of the field, and they can do whatever they want to do with it. Meanwhile, I'll still be recovering from the kickoff. But since there are two people, that's not a problem, because the one who is recovering from the kickoff can't just not do anything while the other one just grabs the ball. And that thing I did there was a little bit intentional, but it didn't work out as I would have liked it to work out. I wanted to play it more forwards into the side rather than completely to the side at a 90-degree angle. Kinda weird, but you know, that's how it sometimes works. And now they go on to a 1v1 me. Let's see if I can win this. Let's pretend we have, I forgot how this game ended actually, at least the score. I mean, I know I lost, but I might still win this 1v1, you know? So let's pretend that 0-2 means 0-0. And now 1-0. Hey, look at that. So this is kind of when it dawned on me that I really should be more patient, because in a 1v1, ball control is just about everything. Well, boost is also everything. I should say they're about equally important. Like, having boost and controlling which boost the opponent can get is pretty important, so it's sometimes actually more important to play the ball backwards so you can grab boost and take the ball with you, so you can maintain control while also getting boost. I don't think I actually do stuff like this in this game though, even though I realized at this point it was a 2v1. Well, I was still kind of in 1v2 mode, and as you may know, I have no idea how to play a 1v2. But I do have some semblance of an idea of how to play a 1v1. Aside from solo standard, it's the one ranked playlist I actually sometimes use. Mainly because I don't have any friends that want to play ranked with me. I know it's sad, I don't care though. I like to play fun games too, even though I get irrationally mad at my friends sometimes. Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Don't let me tell you, actually. I will not want to get into this. But so far it looks like I'm winning. I mean, don't let the score fool you. This 1v1, I'm totally winning that. And had that guy been there and been a dick and just saved the ball, I totally would have had that goal too. I definitely had that one though. Yeah. 2-0. Iggy Ixon is making a comeback. At least, you know, when it comes to this 1v1 business. I kind of wish that they wouldn't have done this though, to be honest. It's not like I didn't know that I would probably lose a 1v2 against, you know, any team that's somewhat competent. But you know, it doesn't matter anyway. Though people probably think I'm really good if I had actually managed to make this 1v2 just to game 3, because, hey, yeah. Though there's probably some people in Jostlemania who could do that, it's just that I can't. I consider myself a pretty good player, but I'm not great. But I'm well aware of some of my weaknesses. Not all of them, obviously, because hey, no one is. But I try to be. Look at that 1v1 with 2 people on the other side. Hey, at least I know that they need 2 people to score on me. That's some solace here. And hey, if this kickoff were possible in 1v1, this would be a pretty good one too. Like that one, but in a 1v2 it's bad. I'm not quite sure how it would be useful in a 3v3 or 2v2 though. It might be useful, it might not be. I guess it depends on how well your teammates can catch on, or rather catch on, follow up on it, and how long it takes for the opposing team to catch on. With some teams it might be forever, they might just think this is just fucking black magic. But you know, most teams will actually learn real quick, I suppose. And again, it took 2 guys to score on me. Look at that shit. Fucking cheaters. Well, okay, I shouldn't call them cheaters. I was really asking to get into that 1v2. Pretty much because, and that's kind of frustrating, we tried to schedule games over and over. That day, I think Shunpei and I were announcing 2 times that, hey, we can totally play right now if any of you want, but nobody was there. and suddenly those guys show up. But then Chunpei is kind of MIA, wherever he is, which action he was, you know, missing in. Though it doesn't matter, I suppose. Because in the end, I don't think that outcome would be much different. Chunpei is a fairly inexperienced player. And New Order, at least, is good. I don't know so much about Chas, though. I've played with New Order before, but not with Chas, so I don't really know. And it's hard to tell when they're double-teaming you. But yeah, this has been the game. I have, much nobody's surprise, lost. But hey, maybe one day I will actually win a 1v2. Hey, I'm a man can dream, right? Right? Okay.